Guys, good morning. I'm still in bed and just chilling, having a good morning. Peggy's coming to pick me up soon. She's gonna take me to the store to get candles and beverages, and possibly some food for the weekend. So that's really kind of her. Um, we're still trying to do our best to save for the move. So she's kind enough to come on Friday before my daughter gets here to kind of give us what we need to have. And for me, if I have to pick candles or food, I pick candles. But no, she's kind enough to give us both. Hi, B. How are you? Nice to see you. My hair has been in the shambles. I fell asleep last night with it after it was still a bit damp, and now it's like crazy. But we're here. I'm doing well. I don't like my hair at the moment, but I know you guys don't care. So today we're going to read out of two books. Yesterday we just read out of Old Wives' Tales, so we're not going to read out of Old Wives' Lore this morning. Possibly later, but not this morning. We're going to read out of Earth Power by Scott Cunningham. And the chapter that I've chosen for today is Water Magic, Chapter 9. And then that is got workings in it, talking about stream magic, pond magic, a spell for a spring and well magic, water gazing, flowers and water divination, ship of ills. So we've got a lot of different things in here. A money spell, crossing water, the sacred lake, the cauldrons and knife, and it's a long chapter, and healing water, a water mirror, a healing bath. So that's all the stuff that's going to be coming out of here. And then we're also going to be reading from Cunningham's Hawaii book that Luna's Muse sent over to me a few days ago, and we've been reading from it. Really great book. I've wanted it for a long time. Hi, Witchy Susie Q. Are you guys all going to come to my birthday party? My birthday party is going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be June 6th. That's not my birthday, because I'm not allowed to share my birthday, but we're going to celebrate it on Thursday, June 6th. And another day to mark on your calendar is 24-hour Tarot-thon, which I'm going to be a part of this year. Thank you so much, Simon at Herman's Cave, for inviting me. I'm so honored. And that's going to be June 2nd and 3rd, and you guys can get the schedule from me on Skype. So, out of this book, we're going to be talking about color. So Hawaiian color magic, and there's only 4 colors they talk about, so I guess there's only 4 really important colors to be talking about. Red, black, white, and yellow. Okay? And at the end it says, many other colors had spiritual significance in old Hawaii. These are just a few of the hues that helped to shape the Hawaiians' religious practices in their lives. So the red, yellow, black, and white are what really shaped what they're doing over there. So, what should we get started in first? Earth power or color magic? Hawaii color magic. Hey, little bunny ASMR, how are ya? Earth power. Okay. Hey, Uncle Badger, how are ya? Okay. So, we are getting started talking about water magic from Earth Power by Scott Cunningham. I know that in the last week, quite a few of you have decided to get this book. I can't say enough. It's inexpensive, and it's $13 US. Not much. Yeah, my mom's going to be picking me up soon. Hey, Spirit Moon, how are ya? So, she'll be over here in about an hour and a half. So I've got an hour and a half to sit and talk with y'all. Okay, so we're going to talk about water magic. And when we left off in the Hawaiian book 2 days ago, we talked about the Hawaiian water magic. We talked about fresh water, salt water. That may have been it, but... Hey, Terry Milburn, how are you? Welcome, and thank you for joining. Okay, so water has fascinated us for centuries. It is a vital necessity of life, second only to air, and thus its sacredness rests partially upon this dependence. Water sustains us, therefore earlier people saw it as divine. Water magic celebrates its mysterious, life-giving nature in a variety of divinations, spells, and rituals. Here are some of them. Water gazing. One of the most pleasant, relaxing, and ancient forms of divination is water gazing. Though nearly everyone is familiar with the practice of crystal gazing, few seem to know its ancestor. There are 3 basic forms. All use the same technique, but different focal points. These are, number 1, gazing into running water such as a stream or a brook. Number 2, gazing at the shimmering of the sun on the surface of the lake or ocean. And number 3, gazing at the reflections caused by the sun on water, as on the sides of a boat or a ship, or a nearby structure, or any close object. Okay. It may take a bit of searching to find an ideal place, and in a pinch, a swimming pool will substitute for the last form, but once found, the major difficulty is over. Find a comfortable spot to sit, relax, and still your mind for the Okay, I know that Scotty is just throwing out, I have to break in and put some commentary in there. I know that he's just throwing out another way for us to do this type of scrying, but I have to interject, Scotty, and I have to say, I think a better idea than finding a swimming pool that was, it was man-made, and it wasn't made for the purpose of scrying. Now, stay with me here, okay? Because my mind is very, like, we have to get from point A to point B. Okay, so swimming pool, full of chemicals, full of very, very harmful chemicals. Did you see me not getting into the in-law swimming pool when we were in Texas? That's because they have a chemical person come out there twice a week and, like, fill that sucker full of chemicals. Our hands and our feet absorb so much of that, like, chemicals, aromatherapy oils, good and bad. Our hands and feet will be the first things to absorb it in. So do I want to soak my feet in the pool to cool off? No, I don't, because it's full of chemicals. That's just me. I would rather get a bowl of, even of tap water, but that's horrible too, because there's so much put into that, like chlorine again, and fluoride, among many other things, but we're not going into that. I would rather get a bowl that I created, or my husband created, like we make all these clay bowls, and perhaps make it for the scrying. And if he says you can do it in a swimming pool, just make it a bowl that can shimmer like a swimming pool would. And then use your moon-blessed water, or water from a stream, or whatever, okay? So, or even tap water would probably be less than pool water. And all I'm talking about there is the pureness of the water itself. But yes, in a pinch, you sure could scry into a swimming pool. I agree with Scotty there. I just think that there's some better avenues of going about it. And you guys know how I feel about Scott Cunningham. I'm not dogging what he's saying at all. I'm just adding to it. Hey, Tatted Hearts, how are you? Welcome. We love tattoos around here. I just am a little chilly in my room this morning. It's not true. I'm hot and cold. Find a comfortable spot to sit. So, I'm going to go back to reading from the book now that I've gotten my thoughts out. It may take a bit of searching to find an ideal place, and in a pinch, a swimming pool is a substitute for the last form, but once found, the major difficulty is over. Find a comfortable spot to sit, relax, and still your mind of the 1,000 thoughts that course through it every waking second. And if you meditate, you won't have to. It won't take very long to still your mind, because meditation is stilling your mind every time you sit. And if you meditate once or twice a day, then you're already really good at stilling your mind. So remember that. Find a comfortable spot to sit, relax, and still your mind of the 1,000 thoughts that will course through it every waking second. Gently, with eyelids relaxed but not quite closed. So you know how you say shut your eyes and you push? I think relaxed eyes are where it's not pushed together and you can kind of see through. But if you were to look at somebody, it would look like they had closed eyes. So I'm going to do those eyes one more time, okay? Can you see the whites on my eyes? I don't know, because I can't see the camera, but because I shut my, my eyes. Allow your thoughts to... Oh, wait, where are we? Gently with eyelids relaxed but not quite closed, gaze into the water or at the shimmerings of the sun dancing like diamonds, or at the reflections of the water that cast up of the sun's light. Allow your thoughts to vanish. If you need an answer to a specific question, once you have attained this drowsy state, because it will cause you to get drowsy, that's right. Formulate the question while still gazing. If no answer immediately comes to mind, and beware the tricks of the conscious mind, which may send wish-fulfilling answers, stop and try again in a few minutes. If you're inquiring about an absent friend or a lost article, see that the person or object is in your mind. So you really need to be visualizing here, you guys. Let the image dissolve and see what comes to take its place within your mind's eye. So you're visualizing the image, you let it dissolve. What's the next thing to manifest right there? What is your brain on its own? What's the next picture it puts out to you? Okay, so pay attention to that. I'm trying to find my place. Okay. If, however, you have no special purpose in water gazing, sit quietly and wait until feelings, emotions, symbols, or pictures paint themselves before your eyes, aided by the ever-moving, mysterious water. Not river, water. Though a bit of practice is usually necessary before psychic messages or images are perceived, once attained, you have the art forever. So, if you're in a pinch and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't bring my tarot cards, or I didn't bring my, what is that thing called? You didn't bring your scrying tools, you didn't bring your bone throwing kit, you didn't bring this or that. Okay, well, there's still a bunch of ways that you can do it. And if you have this water gazing in your mind, you can kind of do that anywhere, right? So I have spent hours sitting on a point that juts out into the Pacific Ocean, gazing at the sun's sparkles on top of the deep blue expanse. I have also water gazed from the end of piers and on the walls near an outdoor swimming pool, in a fountain in public parks, in a puddle in the middle of the sidewalk. Like, you guys, all you need is a puddle. You don't really need much. A puddle in the middle of the sidewalk. And even a bathtub while the sun shone through a window and sent reflections splashing crazily into the tiled walls. To note, one note of caution, very bright reflections can be damaging to your eyes. If you can't look at the sun's shimmerings for more than a few seconds without blinking, do not attempt water gazing and wait until the sun's light is softer. I wonder why Scotty didn't talk about moon gazing in here, because I've done that on water loads of times where the moon bounces on water, and we tend to really enjoy that. So yeah, you guys don't feel like you couldn't do that outside in the moon, because I've done it that way, and I like to do that in like a natural pond or spring or brook. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is spring and well magic. Have you ever tossed a coin into a well and made a wish? This is a form of water magic and has survived until this age. Perhaps because of these enlightened times, we are still unconsequently pulled toward the ways of magic. Wells have long been associated with the femininity and the great goddess of nature herself, the nurturer. And that's cool to know, because I drink just well water. We have pretty bad tap water here in Seattle. I thought it was bad until I tasted Texas tap water. Oh boy, that stuff is yucky. But well water is the whole of what I've been drinking, well, most of my life, but I would say out of the 37 years I've been alive or whatever, I've drinking well water like 32 of those years. Wells have long been associated with femininity and the great goddess of nature herself, the nurturer. They have surpassed springs in popularity over the years, owing to the newly acquired idea that artificially constructed places are superior in magic to those of earlier pagan times. This is a direct result of the growth of political power and social influence that Christianity has enjoyed in Europe from the 10th century until the present. Many wells have become associated with saints, and Bridget is a big connection to wells. Like, when I was learning about Bridget and doing those twin flame workings and stuff for this woman, because her goddess was Bridget, we were connecting that to the twin flame working, and I learned about how Bridget is who I've been giving my coin offerings to since I was a little teeny girl, and that's really beautiful. So we'll have to do a good video on Bridget and wells and wishing wells and stuff. Many wells have become associated with the saints, and healing and other miracles are reputed to have occurred at them. Chalice Well in Glastonbury Abbey in England is an excellent example of an old magical spring that has been transformed into a well through the work of early Christian mystics. But springs have been used in magic much longer than wells. A spring bubbling mysteriously from the earth has long been a source of awe. Not only is it a valuable source of life-giving substance, it is also a natural place to perform magic of all types, such as the following spell, a spring spell. Take a small stone from a nearby spring. So remember, you guys, what a spring is a place where water naturally comes up from the earth, right? And so that is different than a stream, whereas a stream is just a skinny river type looking thing, but very skinny, very small. Still holds life, still flows strong, but smaller. So here's the spring spell. Take a small stone from a nearby spring. Upon its surface, using the juice of a local plant or chalk, and you can make eggshell chalk, right? Carcilia chalk. Mark your need in pictures, symbols, or ruins. Thomas, you'll like the ruins option, I'm sure. Uncle Badger. Hold the stone in your power hand and walk 3 times around the spring clockwise. Kale and Thomas, are you still here? I need to ask you both a question. Basically, pendulums, that's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Spirit Moon. I need to interrupt this and ask people while they're here. I'm making, for the 24-hour Tarot-thon, I'm making a tarot deck, and it's going to be my first time making a tarot deck. I believe I can get it done in 1 month, because I have like 3 weeks. So I believe I can get it done in 3 weeks. But I've already asked Simon at Hermit's Cave if I can model the Hermit card after him. And I'm going to put glasses on it. It's going to look like him and stuff, but it's going to be all decoupage. So for those of you who have a channel here, and I know Uncle Badger, you don't have a channel yet, but you're one of my best friends, and you're going to have a channel. So can I model a card after you, after Kale, after Spirit Moon? You have a channel, right? So anybody that has a channel, I want to know, can I model a card after you? And then put it on 24-hour Tarot-thon. So you guys can get back to me with your answers, because some of you might not still be here and all that. But I just wanted to ask if that'd be okay. Because you're up for that, Kale. So on yours, B, I'll probably, do a sunflower or something. Spirit Moon says yes. Okay, Uncle Badger, is that okay? I know you don't have your channel yet. So I'll make a video that just says, hey everybody, I know that loads of you have channels, or... Okay, cool. So all 3 of you said yes. So I need to make a list of who has said yes so far. Sorry. Just a sec. Business before pleasure! Which I never go by that rule. Whatever. Business before pleasure. because I thought that would be so fun to like take the people in our magical community and make cards out of them. Look at this one would be so good for a hermit card. It's from my little doll book. And I don't have time to message everyone privately. So basically, I'm going to put out a video that says, you know, if you have a problem with this, I'm going to just let me know. And if you don't, because I'm also going to model cards off of some of our most consistent viewers as well that don't even have channels, because, you know, I get to know people. And then I don't know what card I'd use for you yet, IKL, but I'm going to figure it out. They're probably some, like, I don't know, someone will get the High Priestess card, so IKL. And Spirit Moon. And I Know It. Uncle Badger and Simon. Hermit's Cave. So I'm going to ask like Maddie and Dave, and I'm going to ask Tangerine, and I'm going to ask everybody that we know in our circle. So if you know me and I've ever talked to you, just leave a yes or a no in the comments, or just if you can't. I know, it would be a super good surprise. Goddess Queen, wait, come back. I didn't get to say hi. Busy morning, stopping by to say, oh, love you too, Goddess Queen. All right, cool. So let's get back to that working. I'm sorry, you guys, that we got off track, but that's something really fun that we're going to be doing. And yeah, you know, I'll see how much time I have, but if I get, you know, 3 cards done a day, I think I can get it done in time. So here we go. We're still in that spring spell. So we took the small stone from the nearby spring, and we took a local plant, juice, or chalk, and we marked our need in a picture or a symbol or a ruin. And then we hold the stone in our power hand and walk 3 times around the spring clockwise. Your power hand would be the hand that you are dominant with, and if you're and if you can write with both hands, or if you hold your magical wand with both hands, or if you eat with both hands, then you could use either hand, but your intuition will tell you which one your power hand is. If you don't know what your power foot is, have somebody push you unknowingly, and whatever foot you put out to catch yourself, that's your power foot, and that'll come in high magic. Like if you guys are into high magic, the dominant foot will come in. But that's one way to do it, is tell your loved one, someone you trust, say, hey, at some point today or tomorrow, can you push me? And I won't know it's coming. And then, because whatever foot you put out to catch yourself with is your dominant foot. And there's no way to tell what dominant foot you have or what your power foot is. But if you do high magic, that comes up a bit. Okay, so hold the stone in your power hand and walk 3 times around the spring clockwise. If this isn't possible due to the spring's location, walk in a circle before it 3 times, moving clockwise. Lift the stone in your power hand and staring directly into the heart of the spring. So you're holding the stone up and you're looking in the heart of the spring, the very middle of it. And you say this: Spring of clear water, ceaseless and true, send me the wish that I now ask of you. Close your eyes and let the stone drop into the spring. Take a sip of the water. This seals the spell. Leave a token thanks to its spirit. So leave an offering or a coin or, you know, copper penny. If nothing happens for 3 full moons, repeat the spell. So they're saying that this one might take 3 months, but I really think that that's a beautiful working. It's really simple. The incantation isn't very hard to remember. Hi to everybody who's here. Hello. Oh, you just met Maddie? Maddie's awesome. Okay, pond magic. This is only 1 line. A gentle, slow-moving pond or lake is an ideal place to perform magical divinations. Oh. The working that we have is called Rings of Water. Yes, message me later on Skype, Spirit Moon. Are we connected? If not, I'm just Jen the Taxidermy Witch. Just find me. Rings of water. Find a smooth, round pebble or rock. Ask a yes or no question and throw the pebble into the pond. Count the rings that form. If the ripples are of an odd number, the answer is yes. If even, the answer is no. Now I'm going to tell you guys a story, and it's about when I was younger. And this totally revolves back to the fact that I say most of us have been witches our whole life, but didn't know to call ourselves that, and didn't know that it was a real thing because of cinema and Hollywood and things like that. When I was little, I used to think that it was OCD, but when I was little, I would count my steps for divination. Like, for instance, and it would go even odd. And if they were odd, it was a no, because odd things are no. And if it was even, it was yes, like even Steven. That's how I remember. And so I would get to like the edge of my driveway, and then I'd think, okay, I'm going to count my steps up to the front door. And all these are really like OCD behaviors. That's why I thought that's what it was. But I'd say, okay, if I'm going to count the steps up into my house, and if I get inside, and I get up to there and it's an odd number, the answer will be no. But the question was like, what snack will I have today? You know, should I have licorice or should I have apples? I know I should have the apples Mom put out instead of licorice. And if I got up to the steps and it was an odd number of steps and I counted 77, then I would say, I'm not supposed to have that licorice. But if it was an even number, I would give myself a yes, that it was supposed to have the licorice. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that's intuitive magic. That's magic that we do as children. We have no idea why. We might think we're kind of weird for doing it. But it's just like getting answers from someone besides yourself. And taking that answer as it's the law. I mean, when I was a 9-year-old kid and counting my steps like that and asking myself questions I couldn't answer myself, because I really didn't feel like I was the best judge of character because I got in trouble so much. So I would lean on the universe to give me answers of how many steps it would take to get to here or there, you know. Anyway, I just thought I would kind of interject that bit of information because we were talking about counting the rings of the water and things like that. Okay, now we're talking about stream magic. Stream magic. Streams, the veins and arteries of the earth. That's a really cool way to look at streams and rivers and such, as the veins and arteries of the earth, just like the body. They have long been employed in spells, generally to remove something that's negatively affecting the magical practitioner, or to cleanse or to heal. This is clearly evident in the following spells. And so we start with a healing spell for stream magic, and then there'll also be a Ship of Ills spell for the stream magic that we're going to talk about. My back is killing me. Oh, okay. So the healing spell, when you are sick, find a clear, clean, flowing, shallow stream. Remove your clothing. Again, most of these magics that we do with the earth are going to be done best if we do remove our clothing. And I'm not being funny, I'm being honest. Touch the earth, see the sun, nothing left to do but run, 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 let's run. Great song. Wear a bathing suit if desired. So, like, perhaps if you're out in a stream which is more public, wear your bathing suit, I suppose. But, because that's illegal to be naked in public at a lot of places. So, you know, don't break the law or anything, but perhaps you can find a place in nature where you can just get nude and go into the spring. There's lots of places in Hawaii where you can do that it's legal to do. Crouch down until... So remove your clothing or wear a bathing suit and walk into the stream. Crouch down until the water covers your entire body. If your problem is in your head, duck down under the, like for depression or anxiety, Anxiety feels like it's here. I don't know. If you feel the problems in your head, a headache, confusion, depression, that's a point where you probably want to dunk your head. But if it was like heartache, you just want to get in up to here. Does that make sense? Okay, so crouch down until the water covers your entire body. If your problem is in your head, duck your head under the water for a few seconds before beginning the next part of the spell. Feel the coolness of the water against your skin. Feel it cleansing you, washing away dirt, grit, and dis-ease. Begin chanting in a soft voice the following words, visualizing the sickness as black worms wriggling out of your body into the water of the river and flowing away from you to the primeval sea. Primeval? Where it will be cleansed. So, you might think, oh no, we don't want black worms to go out into our streams and seas, even if they're just a visual, because it is the energy leaving no matter how you want to lay it out. Good morning, Lady Moonflower69, how are you? And Mama Hennessy, hi, how are you? But the fact of the matter is, or remember when we talked about trees and putting your pain into the tree, these streams are the veins that go to the arteries. So the arteries are the sea and the streams are the veins, right? Because veins are smaller. And the capillaries are even the smaller little trickles, all right? So imagine that, and remember that how the body works with the heart. If we're even calling these veins and arteries, doesn't the heart kind of clean out the blood every couple of minutes and refresh it? So imagine the sea being like that, and these black worms, the pain, the dis-ease, the problem, wriggling out of your body into the stream. And you really need to visualize this, you guys. The more you visualize it, the more it will literally happen. It goes into the stream, and then it goes out to the sea and is completely cleansed once it gets to the sea. Cool thing is to remember, and this is kind of an anomaly if you will, streams and rivers are generally fresh water that goes out into salt water. And sometimes we talked about how there can be a saltwater pool, a freshwater pool in the middle of the ocean. Like, how does that happen? It's just so cool. I think it's very, very magical when things like that are happening in the world. Okay, so that is that. Just, it will go, picture them as little black worms wriggling out of your body into the water of the river and flowing away from you to the sea where they'll be cleansed. So the next, and then it adds on and says, that you're supposed to say this, the sickness is flowing out of me into the river down to the sea. Repeat the chant for several minutes until you feel like stopping. Leave the water, dry your body, and it's done. Naturally, this should not be attempted in a dangerously swift river if you are too sick to move or in a place of qualified medical attention. Just be really careful, you guys. Rivers and springs are quite strong, and if you're feeling weak or ill, then yeah, you want to make sure that you either have somebody helping you, or, you don't go out too far. Perhaps to get your full body under the water, you only go to water this deep and then you lay in it. Does that make sense? You lay down in it. Rather than going to the deepest part of the stream where a current could actually pull you over. That could be quite dangerous. Good job, Scotty. So this cannot, do not use this working, Scotty says, do not use this working in place of a qualified medical attention. But it can be an aid into the healing process of the body, and you could also use it as a preventative before you get sick. Go in the river, do this whole working just like it is, but these black worms that are coming out of you, they're precancerous materials. You're hitting it before it's even happened. So you could use this as a great preventative spell for any emotional dis-ease or physical dis-ease, okay? So the next one, the next working is still under Stream Magic, and it is called A Ship of Ills. And we're reading out of Earth Power by Scott Cunningham. We're in the chapter of water. Ship of Ills. Find a small piece of wood, one that will float, and take it to the river. With a knife, carve into the stick all of your problems. You can use words, pictures, or symbols. You could make sentences into sigils before you go, and you could put paragraphs on there just by putting your sentence sigils on there. There you go. Be sure every problem you can think of is written or depicted on the stick. So you're really going to want to get like a nice size stick, because we've all got issues, don't we? Just get them all on there, every one you can think of, written or depicted. If you wish, you can use a pen to write the words, but this won't work as well. It won't work as well for a couple of reasons. Why do you guys think a pen wouldn't work as well as carving? I wanna interact and hear from you guys. Why would a pen, writing on the stick with a pen, not be as effective as carving into the stick? So I'll just wait and then we'll hear from you guys. If nobody answers on their own, I will call on somebody. La la la, magic mystery bus, it's coming to take me away. Coming to take me away. Okay, Uncle Badger. Thanks, Terry. More intent. Spirit Moon wears off. iCale, don't know. Thanks for saying something, you guys. Okay, great. So more intent and wears off, those are absolutely true. More intent. It takes more time to do these carvings than it does to write on something. You're holding it in your hand longer. The energy is taking longer to transfer from you to that. So again, that's falling under more intent. Doesn't wear off. Yeah, ink would eventually wear and tarnish off in the water and the sea and the wood and the sand and all of that, right? And the weather. But there really, really, really is something about whittling and carving and putting an artistic flair onto something. I just think that, like, the more time that you put into something, the more powerful the working is, like, tenfold, 20-fold. So thanks for interacting there, you guys. I really appreciate it. But, and just to say, more intent, more energy. It's going to stay on there longer, more permanency. And if somebody ever, like, saw it or found it, I just think that that would be amazing. Not if they kept it, but in general. Okay, so the next one that we're going to do is, oh, we're on Ship of Ills, right. If you wish, use a pen to write the words, but this won't work as well. While you're doing this, infuse the wood with, the other reason why is because I wouldn't want to put pen on a piece of wood because it's like not a part of nature. I know ink is a part of nature, so if you made a magical ink perhaps, and I have a video on how to make magical inks out of a bunch of different fruits and stuff. But if you're just doing like a Sharpie ink, it's not good for the water you're throwing it into. It's just when you smell your Sharpie, it's so strong. Even this tiny one is so strong, and I wouldn't want to add anything like that into our beautiful waters. Just my personal. But if it's all you had, then do it. If you need this working. Okay, so while you're doing this, infuse the wood with all your troubles, problems, sorrows, and so on. Again, that's what I'm talking about, and there's the intent. While you're doing it, you are infusing the wood with all your troubles, problems, sorrows, and so on. There's that beautiful transference of energy. These are things that you want to get rid of. Spend more time with it. When you are finished, set it afloat on the water and turn around. Do not look back at the Ship of Ills as you leave. You know how when we leave somewhere, we always tend to look back just to see it leave? Don't do that. Don't look back at these issues, these problems. Know that the water is taking care of it. Do not turn around and leave. And I think that that's something that we should all add into our workings, you know. At least once in a while, is do this thing where we don't look back. Return home confident that it will travel down the river and on its journey release your problems. By the way, I'd use driftwood. Driftwood tends to float. If it was me, I'd use driftwood. I think it would float further. I don't think Scotty said that. I think he just said take a piece of wood. Yeah, find a small piece of wood. Alright, so return home confident that it will travel down the river and on its journey release your problems one by one into the water, the great cleanser. If you wish, you may add a small mast and sail to help it on its way. That's so cute. So you could turn your piece of driftwood into a little sailboat. But remember at that point that if somebody saw it in the river, they would probably take it. Hey, Magical Mandy, you're here. Oh, I had something to tell you, Magical Mandy. Oh, Magical Mandy, do you care if I make a tarot card modeled on you? Like, can I make a tarot card in your honor because I was invited to this Tarot-thon thing? Yay! Okay, so now we've got her on the list as well. That'll be super fun. I don't know what card you'll be, but awesome, I'm glad. So June 2nd and 3rd is the 24-hour Tarot-thon. It's 24 hours. And then June 6th, Thursday, is when I'm throwing my birthday party. I love you too. It's so good to see you. Hey, Erica! Nice to see you. Okay, so we just ended the Ship of Ills, and I thought that that was great. And then there's another little tidbit here called Other Water Magic, and it says, the following spells, many of which can be performed inside the home, utilize the magic of water in all the classical ways. So this first section is called Flowers and Water Divination. Somebody needs to light a candle for my back. Oh my god. Hurts. This spell, so Flowers and Water Divination. This spell, derived from the ancient Greek practice, requires a large bowl or basin, preferably round, about 12 inches across and 3 or 4 inches deep. And preferably, I'm going to put a side note to that, made of a natural material like clay or, you know, or a bowl that you made yourself or a loved one made for you. Okay. Or a glass bowl, or, you know, but try and avoid the plastic bowls, or a lot of times metal bowls aren't good. Hey, thanks, Ikil, I appreciate it. My back's been sore for like 3 years, but particularly is sore today. Okay, so this spell, derived from an ancient Greek practice, requires a large bowl or basin, preferably round and about 12 inches across and 3 or 4 inches deep. Also necessary is plain water. I don't know what plain water is. And several small fresh flowers, each different from the rest in color, appearance, and so on, so that they can be recognized. This spell is used to determine the course of action to be taken when several different avenues are open to you. Take the bowl filled with water and the flowers outside and place on a table or on the ground. Sit before it. Taking up one of the flowers, ouch, 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 ouch. Where are we at? Taking up the flowers, name it for one of your choices. For instance, sell or buy or wait, and then place it on the water against the far rim of the bowl. Repeat this process for every choice facing you. When all the flowers are named, remember to recall which represents what. Sit quietly before the bowl, whistling aimlessly without tune, thinking of your dilemma. The wind should move one of the flowers, or it may seem to move without any aid in your direction. This represents the avenue to be taken. Nice. If none of the flowers move immediately, there may be no answer to your question. Don't fret. Leave the bowl and flowers where they are for a few hours or overnight if you wish. Look at it later. One of the flowers will surely have moved by then. And by judging its position from where you sat, you should have an answer. If 2 or 3 flowers have moved, use the closest to your original position before the bowl to determine the answer. If 1 or more of the flowers have disappeared, it is obvious they weren't the correct choice. Okay. The next working is called The Cauldron and the Knife. Oh, thanks, Spirit Moon. I'm going to get to go on her Reiki tree. I haven't heard of your Reiki tree. I'll have to look more into that. I had an ice pack. Well, maybe Peggy will buy me an ice pack today. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Okay. That's a little better. I just need 18 pillows and then I feel better. Um, okay. So this is the cauldron and the knife. Just before going to sleep, fill a cauldron or an old iron bucket, bowl or pot. So you could use a cast iron frying pan. Um, with water and place it inside near the front door of the house. Taking a razor sharp knife, place it point downward into the water, saying as you do. So as you're putting this razor sharp knife downward into the water of the cauldron or the cast iron bowl, you're saying this as you're moving downwards. Into the water I place this blade to guard against the thief and shade. May no flesh nor astral shell enter this place wherein I dwell. This is an excellent protection spell and should be performed every evening before retiring. In the morning, remove the knife, wipe the blade dry, and store it in a safe place. Without touching it, pour the water outside or down the drain if necessary, and put the cauldron or bucket away. Needless to say, do not perform the spell if you expect someone to arrive during the night. Their entrance to your home would be dangerous and spectacularly wet. This can be done before every door if desired and protects against more than just human flesh. Okay, so this is also a protection that would protect against the spirit world too. I think that's what Scotty's saying by that. Now, I want to make, I thought of something while I was reading this. What was it? I was going to ask you guys why you think that we're not supposed to touch the water. And then why do we pour it outside or down the drain? Because Scotty teaches us not to pour things down the drain, really, in a lot of his books. Except for things of this nature. And I believe, and he hasn't said it here, but I believe that the reason why we're not touching the water is because there's a good chance a spirit, an ill spirit, might be within the water. That is and water is a conduit. So if we were to touch it, then that could be a transference for the spirit to come to us. That is my guess. But I would love to hear your guys' opinion on why we're not supposed to touch the water and also why we're supposed to pour it down the drain. Because the drain is not the nicest of places. Hi, Jojo Morris. How are you? Glad that you're here. Oh, Lady Moonflower, we should talk about that healing stuff later. That would be amazing. Okay. So the next one is called the Sacred Lake, and I have to check the time, because I do have... Oh, she's not going to be here for an hour, so I can stay on for about another half an hour, and then I need to get ready. So I think what we'll do... Oh, shoot. Because this title is on this and Hawaiian Magick, I'm not going to have enough time to get through the both of them, so we're going to be coming back for a working on the Sacred Lake, Crossing Water, and a money spell, Healing Water, a water mirror, a healing bath. So we'll be reading the rest of this chapter when I come back from the store in a couple of hours. And now we're going to move on to Scott Cunningham's Hawaiian Magic and Spirituality, and we're going to talk about color, which is chapter 12 is all about color, and 4 colors in particular. Okay, Ikale, so nice to see you. And Jojo's in Morocco. How beautiful. Does Kashba mean party in Moroccan? Kashba? Hawaii is a land of contrasting colors, both above and below the surface of the ocean. That is so true. So many colors in the waters there of Hawaii. An incredible variety of hues assault the eye. I don't take it as an assault. I take it as just like, gosh, beautiful gorgeousness. snorkeling in Hawaii. Keenly observant of nature, Hawaiians used color garnered from it to separate commoners from chiefs, just like in Europe, and then it spread to around the world. The color purple was illegal to wear by commoners, and only royalty could wear the color purple. And the ink for the color purple was found from this teeny tiny sea snail. And it took so much ink to make one purple garment, it would be what today would maybe be $100,000 for a dress. That's how much it would cost to have a purple dress back in the day. And so purple will not appear on any flags. Because of that, they didn't have the dye originally until they found these snails. And then, of course, now we produce it synthetically. But just interesting to know that purple was only worn by royalty. And when we talk about purple in the chakras, it is the crown chakra. It is our closest color to spirituality and to the spirit. All right. So, Hawaiians use colors garnered from it to separate commoners from chiefs as offerings to the deities and both spiritual and physical remedies. Color was one of the ways in which Hawaiians classified the natural world around them. Their method of categorizing plants, animals, stones, fish, and other objects by their colors, markings, and shapes led to a sophisticated system of natural science. Much of this observation was used for religious purposes. 4 colors played predominant roles in the spirituality and physical lives of early Hawaiians. So the first color that we're going to talk about is red. Hi, Freshwater. How are you? She says, I can't stay, but I wanted to pop in and say hello. My day is going great. Thank you. Okay, so red. And in Hawaiian, it's pronounced ula, or ula. So red or red. The color of freshly shed blood, of hot lava, and of the lihau blooms and wood. Red is a color of sanctity. The Hawaiians apparently received reverence for this color from their original island homes, for red is the predominantly sacred color throughout Polynesia. Dedicated to Ku, Ku, especially in his Ku Ula aspect, or Ku Red aspect, red was also sacred to Lono. Redfish were offered to him. The unique images of Ai's war god were decorated with red feathers. Temporary Lono temples built to ensure rain and abundance of crops were stained red by the use of a native plant. Red was also used in ritual objects. Red bark cloth was used to wrap or to cloth images of the deities, particularly Ku. Red was a sacred color to Pile. All these names are different Hawaiian gods and goddesses. Red was a color sacred to Pile. When deceased family members were to be transfigured into Aumakau, they were wrapped in red or red and black, bark cloth, and offered to the goddess in hot lava. Kamoho Ali, the shark brother of Pile, sometimes appeared in human form. As a man, he was always wearing a red malo, or a loincloth. Thus, red wasn't worn on the beach by those who respected Kamaha'ale. So don't wear red on the beach if you're going to be following this stuff. All right. So now we're talking about why, what was fit for the gods was also fit for their earthly relatives, the Alei. Thus, red was one of the favored colors of the spectacular ceremonial regalia with which the chiefs decorated themselves. Feather capes, helmets, and even loincloths were made from a fiber netting covered with thousands of red feathers gathered from the iiwi, a now endangered native honey creeper, and other birds. Why is red such a sacred color? Perhaps because it's associated with blood and childbirth, or because much of the land in Hawaii is bright red, thanks to its recent volcanic origin. Red was also seen in the berries and the flowers and the wood of certain plants that grow in the lava flows. Hawaiians' sunrises and sunsets may have also been particularly responsible for the reverence of red. Now, the next color that we're going to talk about is black, and black is known as ile. This is another color owned by Lano, possibly because of the rich volcanic earth from which Lano's bounty brings is often black. Oh, bounty springs is often black. Black rain clouds were also sacred to this god. Black pigs were among the things that were offered to Lano. In building mapile, or abundance, temples to Lano, so people would build abundance temples to this god Lano, wood from the lama tree was preferred. The wood has a black bark, which, as the color of Lano, was ideally suited to promote fertility of the fields. A form of cane, another god, I believe that cane is the god of the sugar cane fields in Hawaii. Cane is spelt with a K. Cane Hikili, worshipped, was seen when he appeared in dreams as a man, one side of his body black, the other side white, feet on the earth, head touching the clouds. His priests dressed in black and offered him their head wrapped in black. There appeared to have been no negative associations with black. This color was intimately connected with the natural phenomena that were a cow, black lava, black storm clouds, and the blackness of night, P-O, were seen as natural aspects of life and contain no negative, dangerous, or evil quantities. So, if we talk about the color black in Hawaiian magic, in Hawaiian spirituality, it's very, 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 very different than witchcraft and hoodoo. Okay? That's why I think, we talk about, I've done videos on color magic and witchcraft. I've done videos on color magic and hoodoo. Those two are different, but kind of similar. Not in Hawaiian. And also at the back of Earth Power, Appendix 1, is all the colors of color magic, Scott Cunningham. So let's read black. Black, absorption of negativity or destruction of negativity. It's directly connected with negativity. We also know that a black candle is banishing. But also black is the next best thing to a white candle because black has all colors within it. Okay? So yeah, really great that Scotty put in Appendix 1 of this book all the color magics. So for all of you guys that got this book, you've now got Scotty's color magic on page 161, Appendix 1. Just wanted to throw that out there. And the next color we're going to talk about in Hawaiian color magic is white, and then we'll go on to yellow. So white is pronounced ki, I believe, K-E-A. As in many other parts of the world, white was a sacred color. Kahuna Pule, prayer experts, usually wore white or malo, and shoulder cloaks while performing rituals in the temples. The prayer or oracle towers of the temples were covered with white kapa. Bark cloth of this color was also used in making the symbol of Lano, or the Lanamuka, centerpiece of the yearly festival of Makahiki. During family purification rites, white was used. Additionally, fine white kapa of the olau type were used to cover grid images of the Akura. The reference of this color isn't difficult to understand. White is seen in ocean waves. You know, when the waves crash and you see the break there, there's white in the ocean waves, the clouds, and in the flowers. White. The abundance, where are we at, of other discernible colors seems to indicate purity. Additionally, Hawaiians also knew white snow. The snow goddess of Mauna Kea, Pilahola, wears a white cloak in the snow. And I guess, oh, that's cool. This all was on page 111. That's fantastic. So now we're going to talk about the color yellow, which is pronounced in Hawaiian Magick, mile mile. Mile mile. This is another sacred color of the Aleai, and was probably of more importance than red in its context. Feather leis, worn by women, capes, helmets, and images of deities were often made of yellow feathers, usually interspersed with more common red feathers. Yellow was also kapu to some fishing deities. This color also had its religious uses. Yellow kapa was offered to Cain, one of the gods. In fact, this seems to have been his favorite color. The altar of the hula goddess Laka was always adorned with a block of llama wood, wrapped with bark cloth dyed with turmeric. I told you guys that we were going to use turmeric to dye things in this book. I knew it! To a nice shade of yellow. So let me show you guys the turmeric, since we're inside and not outside. Last time I talked about dyeables, we were outside. Come on, Otis! So when you were a kid, what types of things, turmeric powder, which is the turmeric root, which looks just like ginger, but when you cut it open, it's got bright orangish yellow color to it. Turmeric powder, or turmeric juice. Like if you were to juice turmeric and just soak it in that. I've used turmeric juice for tie-dye before, like a yellow-orange tie-dye. And then the other thing that I always suggest to use is either these freeze-dried beets, beet powder, or fresh beet juice. And you can make a beautiful tie-dye shirt with fresh turmeric and fresh beet juice, and it would be red, orange, and yellow. So gorgeous when those two colors connect and make a tie-dye. But sometimes it's hard to make a whole shirt of that because it would take quite a bit of juice. So, you know, you might start with a pair of socks to tie-dye. So, turmeric was what they used to get a nice shade of yellow. The use of olina in creating purification rites probably originated from both its color and its scent. Relatives of Mu'u, the lizard god, and water spirits wrapped the bodies of their deceased relatives in yellow during the rite that transfigured them into anew. Images of the great Mu'u goddess popularized were also wrapped with yellow bark cloth. The brilliant yellow thigh feathers of the u'u or u'ua'a bird were used in making feather garments for the ali'i. Yellow feathers were also gathered from the mamo bird. These birds are apparently extinct today, thanks to predators induced by Westerners to Hawaii. Hawaiians usually didn't kill birds for their feathers. They caught them using sticky gums, removed a few needed feathers, and then released them into the wild. Well, that is really, really interesting. I mean, I don't know how humane it is to pull feathers from a bird and then put it back into the wild, but that's just the truth of it. you know, they had their own version of what was right and wrong, you know, and I totally feel that. I know, he didn't come up here. Otis! I don't know what he's doing. He's just sitting at the end of the bed. Okay, so the last little bit in this chapter on page 122, it says, many other colors had spiritual significance in old Hawaii. These are just a few of the hues that helped us to shape Hawaiians' religious practices and their lives. So we had red, black, yellow, and white. Okay? So now we've still got a little bit of time. I don't know, I took 15 minutes to read that. So I think in 15 minutes we can get through the rest of this book and then just be done. And then I can get ready to go and we can come back on later. I have a lot of energy today, so we'll definitely be coming back on later today. And I think that we'll have more people on later today as well because it's so early in the United States right now. Okay, so we did the cauldron and the knife, and now we're going to start by talking about the sacred lake, and we're underwater in Earth Power by Scott Cunningham. Okay, Jojo, awesome. Have a really awesome day. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. We really appreciate it. It's good to see you. Lakes are sometimes known as Diana's mirrors. On the night of the full moon, catch its reflection. Did you know that Princess Diana was named after Diana? And that's a whole conspiracy in itself, especially if you look at the way she died. It was very much, looks like a ritual. But, you know, if you're interested in the Princess Diana death conspiracy to Magick, definitely look into it. If you need videos, I can send them to you, but David Icke explains it all. The sacred lake. Lakes are sometimes known as Diana's mirrors. On the night of the full moon, catch its reflection on the still black waters of the lake. Lie down and stare at the reflection using the same technique as that of water gazing. You should begin to see symbols or even receive psychic messages. It is traditional to call upon Diana, goddess of the moon, while performing this work. And then the next one is called crossing water. If you are ever out walking or driving and feel the danger or evil nearby, try to cross over water. So if you just get this feeling that stuff that's not good is nearby, whether you're driving or walking, just go ahead and drive over a bridge or step over running water down a gutter or a stream. Evil and danger cannot cross over water, for it purifies and neutralizes it, thus rendering you safe. I'm thinking of Beetlejuice right now. And how that didn't really make sense because they drove over a bridge to their death. But anyway, as an ancient custom, this is an ancient custom but can still be used today with good effect. Okay, next we have a water and money spell. Take a dish of water into the moonlight. Catch the moon's reflection on the water and dip your hands into the water. Leave this on the hands until they dry. Like, after you pull your hands out, leave it on the hands until they dry, and you shall receive money from an unexpected source within 28 days. This spell should be performed during the waxing moon. And right now our moon is waxing, so right now would be a great time because we just had a new moon, which means it's at its darkest. And now we're putting layers of wax on it until it becomes a full moon. And then it's going to wane down until it's another new moon. So right now that money spell would be a great time to do it. Another version of the same can be done at any time, even when the moon isn't visible. Take a vessel, preferably of silver, so like a silver bowl if you've got one, to a dark place. Toss a silver coin or piece of silver jewelry into the water and moisten your hands with this. I've done this one before. Okay, next one is healing water. Take a hold stone. I just collected 3 the other day. I remember a hold stone. See that hole in there? Where's my eyeball? Anyway, you can see the hole in the stone, right? Hagstone. Take a hold stone and put it into a vessel of clear water. Remove it, and the water is possessed of healing vibrations that can be used in healing baths, to anoint healing charms, and so on. So you can soak this in water and make yourself some hold stone water. Hold stone water. Okay, a water mirror. Take a bowl of water, and upon its surface let fall a drop of heavy oil. Gaze at the drop of oil as you would a crystal ball and scry. That's it. Pretty simple. Next one, and this is the last one of the chapter, a healing bath. This is a more convenient version of the river healing technique offered and outlined earlier. Take a lit silver or white candle, some salt, and a healing oil such as carnation, violet, sandalwood, or narcissus into the bathroom. By the candle's light, run a tub of very warm water. So you're doing this all by candlelight. So very warm water though. Cast some salt into it, add a few drops of the healing oil, and then step into the tub. Relax, feel the warm, salted water sinking into your pores, through your skin, sterilizing the sick portions of your body. Visualize the black worms leaving it, if you wish, and then you leaving it if you wish. And when you feel the water teeming with them, pull the plug and let the water drain out. While it is draining, chant as mentioned previously, with one minor change in the wording. The sickness is flowing out of me into the water, down to the sea. The sickness is flowing out of me into the water and down to the sea. The sickness is flowing out of me into the water and down to the sea. If I say things 3 times, they generally tend to stick in my head a little bit longer. Only when the tub is completely drained, stand up. It is best to immediately splash your body with fresh water, and I would also at this point slap fresh mugwort on my body. That's what I would add into it. A shower is ideal to remove the last vestiges of disease and sickness. So stand up and perhaps shower yourself with water that hasn't been touched with the black worms. Really, really get your visualization going here, you guys. Really try and visualize as perfectly as you can, just as though it's a picture right in front of your eyes. That will make it even more strong. Or even more stronger. Repeat as necessary to speed up your body's recovery. Again, I am not a doctor. Scott Cunningham is not a medical doctor. He's more of a spiritual doctor. You guys should definitely be using medical attention. If you have a real sickness and you feel like you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. The things that I do are reasons of my own. You know, I do my own magical dental workings. I do my own magical depression and healing workings. You know, I'm an empath. A lot of things affect me, and a lot of dis-ease from other people creeps into my body as well. So that's something that I have to find my own ways of clearing out, and it's all good. I take care of myself. If I need to lay in bed for one whole day, then I do it. I don't do massage anymore because I take on people's problems that way, etc. So anyway, you guys, I had loads of fun talking to you this morning. If anybody wants to chit-chat for a little bit before I go, I've got 5 minutes to chit-chat. 5 minutes to chit-chat. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout. So yeah, Peggy's gonna take me to the store. And since I have no income anymore, and she's going to buy me candles and groceries, and I'm really excited about that. So we're going to have a fun morning together. Perhaps I'll do a video with her while we're out and about, because it's always really fun. Yeah. Anything you guys want to chat about? Any questions before I go? We're just doing a quick Q&A. You're welcome, Terry. Absolutely. You like the readings, Thomas? I'm really glad. He says, I do really like the readings. I'm glad. And, you know, it's cool because we're reading through like 3 books, and it seems to be that it's been like 7 days in a row or something. I've come on every single day to do readings from these books. I think 6 days. And it's giving me a reason to come on every day. Yeah, I'm not spending the day with her. We're just going to one store and coming back. Probably be gone for about an hour. It'll be loads of fun, though. She is so utterly precious and special to me in my life. Come here, butthole. Otis, come here. Please. Please. Come on, bud. He went in the bathroom. He just keeps ditching me. Erica, yes, I appreciate the reading. Discussing the topics. So, gracias. I don't know how to say welcome. Is it de nada? I don't know how to say you're welcome in Spanish. I should probably learn, though, since I'm moving to Texas. Sí. Sí. Okay, yay. De nada. De nada. Getting better at it. My friends and my husband are like, wait. You're learning German. Because I'm trying to teach myself German. Because my heritage is German, and so is my husband, and my in-laws can speak some German, so I've been wanting to teach myself German. And everybody's like, wait, but you're moving to Texas, why aren't you learning Spanish? And I'm like, well, I don't know, but what? Why does that matter? You know, but yeah, so, you know, I don't think I can actually learn German, but I've been listening to old, like, not World War II, but like 30s and 40s German music. There's this lady, Zara, and she's like my absolute favorite. And I've been listening to music with English subtitles so that I can learn German. I have my own way of teaching myself stuff, but mostly I just want to know some phrases and things like that. So German is hard. German is proving to be pretty difficult. But I'm liking it. Maybe I should teach you guys like a German word a day. That would be fun. Maybe it would help me remember my German more if I taught you guys a German phrase a day, or a German sentence a day, or something like that. I don't know. Would that be fun? Does anyone else even care about the German language? Spirit Moon says, I'm German. It would help me practice too. Yeah, right? If I did some little videos. Maybe we will do that. I'll think of a great German phrase to teach you guys. I mean, we know that Guten Tag is good morning, right? So for now, we'll start with Guten Tag, meaning good morning. I think it means good morning. It might mean good day, though. I think it means good morning. Wait, Guten Tag. Never mind. I'll figure out one, and then we'll start with one. But we'll start adding in some German words and phrases, and just playing around with that. It'll help me learn. One of the best ways to teach yourself is to teach somebody else. That's one major reason why I started my YouTube channel, was because if I taught myself witchcraft like this, and to you guys, it was like I was doing my own online grimoire book of shadows, I gotta go, you guys. I have to get ready now. Peggy's gonna be here soon. So I will see you guys back in about, I don't think it's gonna be longer than 2 hours. I think it's gonna be shorter than 2 hours. I'll see you guys soon, and perhaps we'll do a video while we're with Peggy. Remember that beet juice and turmeric juice, or the powdered dyes, can make excellent dyeables for clothing, for magical uses, etc. Terry says, I was married and lived in Germany with your own German. Nice. No, I definitely want to visit Germany one day, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because I've renounced airplanes. I'm not going to ever be flying on an airplane again, I hope. And my husband's like, wait, how are we going to travel the world? I'm like, no, I'll just stay. You go ahead. I'm not into flying. The last seat that I had was so small and so tiny, and apparently that's normal. But the last time I flew, it wasn't like that. So either my anxieties are growing or the seats are getting smaller. And in this case, the seat was smaller. On, what did we fly? Some ridiculous flight like United, when I've only ever flown Alaska Airlines. Yeah, I will not sit in a seat that small again. I won't do that to myself. So we'll see. Will I ever get to Germany? Perhaps on a ship, like in the old days. I'll even carry my my oil lantern. Okay, guys, see you in a couple.